All right. No music today, sports fans. This is a mini lesson, lesson 7-20, dividing with decimals. Simple. We've been dividing for days now. Now we just have to, when we have a decimal in the divisor, we can't divide that number. We have to move decimals and get them set up. Let's look at this problem. We have 45 and 5/10 divided by 2 and 5/10. Now I can rewrite this as a fraction, 45 and 5/10 over 2 and 5/10. Now we learned that in fractions, whatever you do the top, you must do the bottom, and you'll have an equivalent fraction. Well, if you have an equivalent fraction, that's going to be the same overall value, which means if we change this in a division problem, we're going to have the same value. Okay? Get rid of that. So for that reason, I need to get rid of the decimal that is in the divisor. Okay, I can't have 2 and 5/10 to divide by. I have to change that to 25. My decimal is now there. Okay, whatever I do to the divisor, I must also do the dividend. So I move this decimal one place. And I know when I have a decimal in the dividend, I just put the decimal in that same place in the answer. Now I can rewrite this problem and divide it. I rewrite it as 455 divided by 25. My decimal is here and will also be here in the answer. If I start by dividing with decimals, I must show my remainder with decimals. So this means I have to do decimal division. Okay? So we just divide now. 25 goes into 45 how many times? Doesn't go into 4. Goes into 45 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Subtract. And I get 20. Bring down the 5. 25 goes into 205. Well, 25 goes in 104 times. 208 times. 8 times 25 is 200. Subtract and get 5. Add a 0. Bring it down. 25 goes into 50. 2 times 25 is 50. Subtract. I am done. 18 and 2/10 is my answer. So division is exactly the same. I just have to set up by moving decimals first. Okay, let's look at another problem. All right, sometimes, especially in the book, you'll see the 0 out here. Okay, you know that that's 0 is the whole numbers. The decimal's still there. I still have to get that decimal out of the divisor. In a sense, I have to make the divisor a whole number. I have to move the decimal one place to make that 2 a whole number. Now I have the divisor whole number 2. Whatever do I do to the divisor, I must also do to the dividend. My decimal's now there. My decimal, my answer, is up here. Okay, now I have the problem 84 and 7/10 divided by 2. I like to rewrite it because it makes it easy, nice and neat. 84 and 7/10 divided by 2. I can get rid of that 0 that's over there. Now by doing that, put the decimal up in the answer, and now I just divide. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract 0, bring down the 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract a 0, bring down my 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract a 1, bring down a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract. I've got 42 and 35/100. Okay. Same thing again here. Now, though, I don't show a decimal in the dividend. Remember, even if it's not there, it is. We always have it after the ones place. Even if it's not shown, it's there. So now I can move the decimal 2 places to make this a whole number. So I move this decimal 2 places to make it a whole number, and I fill in my spots with zeros. Extend my line, put my decimal in my answer. Okay? Then I would just rewrite this and divide it. 84400, which is 84,400. Decimal there, divided by 32. I'm not going to bother dividing it because all we have to do is make sure we're set up this way. If you're set up this way, you divide it just the same. Okay? Now, all right, let's have you try this one. Copy this one down on your paper and work it out. Move your decimals, divide it. Let's see how you do. Pause your video and finish that problem. All right, let's see how you did. Got to move this decimal here to make 2 and 2/10 to 22. We'll move this decimal one place over here. The decimal, my answer. Okay, 22 is not going to 1. 22 is not going to 19. But 22 goes to 91. I'm going to round to 20. And I know that 20 times 5 is 10. 20 times 10 is 200. That's too big. 22 times 9. I'm going to try 22 times 8 to see what I get. 22 times 8. 16. 8, 16, 17. 176. And that'd be 196 with under 20, so that's definitely an 8. To 176. Subtract. Got to borrow. 9, 2, and 8. 1 minus 6 is 5. 8 minus 7 is 1. 15 is less than 22. Bring down the 4. 22 goes in 154. Well, it goes in 176 8 times. Let's try 22 times 7. Let's see what that gets us. 14. 7 is 14, 15. 154. Times 7 is 154. Subtract to get 0. My answer is 8 7/10. All right. Simple. Division doesn't change. We're just moving decimals because we can't divide with a decimal in the divisor. It has to be a whole number. So we have to move that decimal to the end and then shift the decimal and the dividend the same. All right. It is time. Homework and remembering 7-20. All right. Do your best. Good luck. If you have any questions, come back and watch the video. See ya.